Hi guys, Squall here, and welcome to episode 10 of my realistic playthrough of Derail Valley. Apologise for the gap. Since the last episode, I've been quite ill. I was in bed for 3 days, and I still sound a bit nasally, so apologies for that. In the last episode, we basically got here, which is the harbour, and we've got 2 DH4s and a couple of museum locomotives down there, and I've hooked them up to this thing here, which is about 1,000 tons of steel. We'll go and quickly have a look at the job for that. What I want to do is get down to the museum, but there's never any jobs really to the museum. Well, not from here anyway. But there is a job that we can take that will take us to the harbour, and the museum's here at City South. So the harbour's our destination, and the job that I want is this one. This is a 1,000-ton train full of steel rails, and if we actually look at the capabilities of a DH4, it can hold 600 tons of a 2% gradient. Now, the gradient coming out of we're not at the harbour, are we? At steel mill. The gradient coming out of the steel mill is a bit more than 2%, and we've also got 2 dodgy locomotives that are going to cause a bit of friction, so I reckon we should be able to haul this up the hill. We'll take a little bit of a run up. That'll net us 50k. I'm not going to risk anything else. There are more harbour jobs, but if we tried to take that, we'd never make it up the hill. And equally, we could do a shunting job and get little bits and pieces. But frankly, my major goal is to get to City South. That's where I want to get. So what we're going to do is jump in the locomotive. Actually, I'll just back it up here. Reverse it up, back down here. I'll take a little run up. We'll hand the job in. And we're going to head down to the harbour, and then after the harbour we'll drive up to City South, and we're going to hand these things into the museum and see if we can't start working on them. It's very exciting. Cool, right, let's get going. Right, so I've reversed the whole train out onto the main line, and we've set the points to take us down the middle there. I'll get this job handed in. This is the job here. And that will start the clock. We have... how long to do this? 71 minutes. Right, lovely. Okay, let's get this thing moving. Get on board. And then I'm going to need to set all the switches down to the harbour. We've done this route before, so we know what we're doing here. It's pretty straightforward once you've done it a few times. Let's get set up right a little bit, and we'll get the power on. Right, while it's doing that, we'll get the switches set. Keep our eye out the front there. So coming out the steel mill, we're going to be going left to take us up the hill. We're then going to go left to take us around this corner here. And we're going to keep left and head straight down this way. We're going to take a right through the tunnel and then a left into the harbour. The harbour job itself, just have a look at where the drop-off is. We've got to haul it to C2I. So if we have a look at the harbour, we'll be coming in, and we've got to reverse it into C2I. So we've got left here, and we're going to keep left through there. We'll keep left into here. We're going to go left into E. I'll just double check E is on the main line. So coming from the west side, we're going to go right, then left. That'll put us on the main track. And then what we'll do, of course, is turn around. We'll head straight down here, and then we'll reverse it back into C. So C, coming in from the top here, we're going to be doing a right and then a left into 2I. So that is everything set up. We're just trying to build as much momentum as we can now, keeping our eye on the temperature. We could probably throttle a little bit more. Now, so the plan is, we'll get this into the harbour, we'll drop it off into C2I, then we'll drive up to City South with the 2 locomotives that we've got behind us. If we just have a quick look behind us here. We've got these lovely 2 locomotives. And then we're going to want to start working on getting that DH4 ready. Now, we've already bought the museum license, which means we've got access to the museum. So what we need to do is take this DH4 into the museum, drop it off into one of its sidings, and then it will generate a job to go and get the parts for it. And the parts come from the machine factory, if I remember, up here. But you have to put them on the back of that specific trailer that we saw, or on that little vehicle that can deal with it. So what we could do is we could buy the parts for the DM3 as well as the DH4. But we'll have to see how much cash we've got. Then we've got to go bring those parts back down to the museum at City South. And we just check the temperature. Bring them back down to City South, at which point we need to install them. and then we'll have to spend a lot of money doing the train up, doing the locomotive up. We're also going to want to spray paint it, and there are two different types of spray paint, so we need to take a look at those. And then when we have got it ready, what we're going to want to do is move these bits of equipment here that we've installed and maybe buy some new ones. And all that while keeping an eye on the budget. So there's a lot to do, but once we've got that DH4 running, that will be our main driver for a while, and we'll just have one of these stock DH4s as a slave behind it. And that will keep us going until we start using the DE6, basically. I'm noticing that the train is struggling, so I was correct in just taking the single load. I really wish I'd fitted a clinometer so I could see what the actual gradient was. I must install a clinometer in our DH4. It's really, really useful just to see what the gradient really is at this point. We're going to be okay, we're going to make it, but if I'd have tacked anything else on the back, not so sure. Anyway, so that's it for this bit. We're just going to get ourselves down to the harbour. Okay, coming up to the right turn through the tunnel. And then we've, of course, got the sharp right turn immediately following this. So 60 into a 40, I think. With a downward gradient, just to make sure you derail if you're not paying attention. That's generally how this whole map is structured, is the sharp turns will have a... basically, it'll hide the turn from you and then send you downhill so you pick up speed and then introduce you to a much sharper turn that you wasn't expecting, followed by a cliffside, just to make sure you have all the fun. I do love it. I mean, it is a learning curve when you first play it, but yeah, here we go. So here's the 40 limit. Get some brakes put on. Just keep it under 50, we'll be fine. Hear the brakes start to squeak as well. Sharper and sharper. Yeah, wheels are complaining slightly. So yeah, the other thing I want to get, which I think I mentioned in the previous episode, once we get our own DH4, I'm going to install a little train link thing under here. So we'll have to sort of go and buy the equipment that we need, and then we'll fit it all into the brand new DH4. But unlike these, I won't be using gaffer tape to stick it in, or duct tape, or whatever it calls it. I'll be actually mounting it with the drill, because it's our locomotive. Then we can drill holes in it, right? That's the plan. And that will let us know when the back of the train has passed through certain parts of the track, which is very, very useful. The longer the trains we start dealing with, the more that becomes an important factor. Now, we'll see if we can use a dynamic brake just to control our descent. 60 limit dropping down to 40. I wish it told you, just underneath the board, what the new speed limit would be. Like, I wish it had a 6 and then a down arrow and then a 4, so that you'd know you're going down to 40. That would be kind of useful. Another sharp turn, which we have to use the brakes to try and kill the speed for. A lot of momentum coming down through here. And that momentum continues down this hill. So I've got the dynamic brake going, which is why we're running at a fairly warm temperature. But I'm just trying to manage the actual disc brakes to make sure we keep the speed down. There's the harbour. It's looking quite misty, isn't it? Look at that. Late evening mist. So the train length, or at least the consist length, is 324 meters. Which by the time you add... what's it, 4 locos we've got here? 2 active and 2 museum pieces? We're pretty much over 400 meters in total. Right, we start backing off the real brake. Just leave the dynamic on and just try and keep our momentum around this corner. We've got quite a long train. It's all the way back up there somewhere. And we'll just remove all the brake now. Start backing off the dynamic as the speed comes back. Okay, all brakes are off. So we are turning around this bit here. We're going to go straight through there, and as soon as we pass this part, we'll reverse back into C. But, yeah, another successful operation. What's that over there? 2D6 is a 282 and a DM3. Very nice. Yeah, look at that. You can see the mist there with the lighting. It's so cool. Graphics are really well done in this game. Yeah, those points look set for a straight through run, so I'm just going to jump off the train here. There's the back. Now, it takes a lot of confidence to know that you've set that correctly, because if you've set it badly, you're in for a real nasty surprise. So let's hope I got that right. It's looking good. And we'll get the brakes on. Okay, we can stop it now. Flick that round. Now, we have already set the points in the C yard, so we should be good. What I intend to do is we'll reverse in, we'll go and hand this job in. I don't think there'll be anything going up to City South, but you never know. There can sometimes be a logistic job. We'll keep the engines running. I'll probably turn the second locomotive off, and then we're going to head straight back up to City South. It will then be, by then, completely dark, I imagine. C2I is set correctly, and that is fast enough. I'll start bringing the speed down now. Looking good. There's a huge amount of momentum here. But you've got to keep it under control, because if you get it wrong, you're hitting that bumper and it's going to cause a lot of damage to the cars. Right, get the brake on. Yeah, that is going to do us just nicely. Disconnect the cars and we'll turn off a second loco there. And we're going to be wanting to head back out that way. So I'm just going to leave that rolling slightly and we'll take a little sprint. Right, here we are. Hopefully we got that correct. And we did, and we got paid 75,000. Thank you very much. What are our fees currently? 28. You only have to pay 27 copay, so we've now bust the copay. So effectively, we're on free money. Anything that we do now won't cost us money. I'm just checking what we have in here. Switches, mounting, solder. We have lots of solder. Okay, so I don't have any more gadgets, so we need to buy any gadgets we want to fit. I'm going to have to actually buy once we get this DH4 up and running. Some of the parts will probably be up at the goods factory. Which is not usually a place we go very often. It's all the way up here. We're going to go to the machine factory because we need to get those parts, but they don't sell all the pieces that we need. Okay, so let's set this correctly for... Get the right options. Out of the harbour, taking a left this time up to City South. And then at City South, we'll be coming in from this side. There's the museum. The locomotives are behind us, so we're coming in forward. So what I might do is go right here, and then left into B. And then we'll just use one locomotive to position the others, because that is a big turntable. Left and then right, yeah. That's a big turntable at the museum, but it won't take all 4 of these locos, I don't think. I think it'll take 3. So we'll just need to ditch one temporarily. At least I don't think it will. It's a big it's a big turntable, but I'm not sure if it'll do all 4. Anyway, we need to make it daytime anyway, so I'll probably pull up, get to daytime, and then we'll carry on. That's a rather fierce echo on that switch setter when you're in a tunnel. It's the dead of night, so it was like super, super loud. Here we go. Here's City South. There's the museum sign. There should be a right, left into B. Then we'll just pull up in B and have a little sleep on the sofa. Okay. Let's just stop here. Oh, we're going to have fun in there tomorrow. Right. Engine off. Parking brake on. Let's check our fuel level. Less than half. Okay, we're good for another run in that thing. Will it get us up to the machine factory? Maybe. Maybe, but there is a service yard in there that we can use. You don't have to use it just to repair museum stuff. You can use it for normal stuff, I believe. So we could take both locos in there and get them refueled, because we've got to go up to the machine factory anyway. Anyway, let's get on the sofa. Right, I can never remember where the sofa is. There it is. Let's sleep through to 5:40. Now, traditionally, whenever I do museum work, or whenever I did museum work on the stream, it always binned it down with rain, so it will be interesting to see. Okay, there's rain at 9 AM. But we will be not back at the museum at that point, I don't think. I was going to say, it'd be interesting to see what the game does for us. Now, is there anything going up to the machine factory? There is indeed one going up to the machine factory. Sawmill, Harbour, City West. We could possibly prepare that, because we're going that way anyway, but is it going to be worth it? It's a bit of a faff for 10 grand, isn't it? Look at that. Orwell North, Steel Mill. That's the wrong way. So it looks like it's going to be just that one. But that's absolutely fine. It means we're going to get paid to go up to a place that we want to go anyway. I'm just trying to weigh up if this track is long enough. I suppose we can drive all 4 in, because we can always... What we can do... We'll drive them all in and see if it'll hold all of them. If not, we'll put the first DH4 into there. Now, they all have their own little bays. The DH4, when it's finished or being worked on or stored, can be put into here. The one on the very back is it's a DM3, isn't it, on the back? There's the DM3 bay. So we're going to want to reverse and put that guy in there first. And then what we need to have is actually, we put them on here. I'm trying to remember how this works. And it generates the jobs over here. So then we have to generate... Basically, it will recognise that we've got those, and we can then buy them. But I can't remember if we had to put them in the bay first or not, or whether it recognises it on the turntable. We need to find out. Let's go and get the front loco started up. Actually, you know what? I might actually start the second loco, because I may not use that one. Yeah, let's use the second loco. What we'll have to do is brake cut this one in. And brake cut this one out. Move the handbrake. And then we shall pair it to this one. Get the cab light on. I still think the brake pipes... Oh, it's because we've slept. Because we've slept, everything gets utterly reset. It's actually annoying. Right. The handbrakes all get put on at every loco when you sleep, much to my irritation. Right, museum, here we come. We've got our first 2 museum locomotives. And we're about to put them in the museum for the first time. This is exciting times. I think that's quick enough. So, nice morning at the moment, but rain due at 9 AM. Let's see if this thing will fit on the turntable. So the actual service bays are over here. There's basically one for the coal and the water for the steam things. Then there's a normal bay. Then there's a painting bay. And then over there is the actual office, as it were. Okay, point to set. And let's see if we can fit this thing on. I think it might actually fit on, looking at it, we'll see. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. The wheels need to be... Nah, it's not. That's not fitting, is it? Nope. So what we'll do is we'll just roll forward. Just leave him temporarily there. Good job I did it this way. Let's do that. And that. That. And then it is flat in here, but we'll just put the brake on. Because it's good practice to always put the brake on. And then if we just nudge back slightly... There we go. Right. Now, let me just go into the office and see if we can spawn that job or whether it has to be put in the bay. I've got a feeling... Yeah, it has to be put in the bay. So we will need to turn that one around. And try and guess where the DM3 yard is. It would be great if this thing had little lights on the back that showed what track was lined up to it. But sadly, we don't have that luxury. So I'm going to guess that it's probably roughly maybe about that one. And that's wrong. It is in fact that one. At least I've only got to hand push it over one. Okay. There we go. See, it's ordered it. It's generated the job now. Go to the museum's office to fund the missing parts and purchase this vehicle. So we're going to stop that just there. We're going to whack the handbrake on it. And pop that off. And we need to do the same thing, but this time with the DH4, which is this track here, which is, what, that 3 to the left? I wish I could push quicker. There's one. It's funny how you can see grass under here. That's kind of weird. You'd think this would be on concrete. Okay. DH4 confirmed. And we should get the same thing again. What should we do? We'll get rid of that. Put the brake on. Disconnect, and then what we want to do this time is... Oh, we've got the wrong way around now, annoyingly, haven't we? Actually, maybe what we should do is do it the other way now. Okay, hang on. Change of plan. Because if I drive this thing out, it's then going to be... Actually, I could... I'm just thinking, it doesn't really matter which way the DH4s are facing. I could... put them back to back anyway, couldn't I? It's no big deal. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do them back to back. It really doesn't matter. With something like the DE2, because it is got an air-cooled radiator on it, it has to be going in the direction of travel to benefit from cooling of the engine. But with the DH4, it doesn't work that way. So you can quite simply have them facing outwards, like almost like a shuttle. So they're pointing in opposite directions because they don't rely on the airflow to cool them. So we're, having these back to back is absolutely fine. In fact, it can be beneficial in some aspects. Very aggressive shunt. And we'll jump inside, turn off the brake. Now, I don't know which way we're going to be heading out of here. Something's leaking air, I think. Something is definitely leaking air. Hang on. Let's put the handbrake on. That's connected, that's connected, that's through there. So something's not connected. Or is it the brake cut? There we go. Both brakes were cut in on both locomotives, which isn't going to work. That's what it was. Take the handbrake back off. Make sure the brakes are on. Yeah, I don't know which way we need to face out of here. I don't know if we're heading west or east yet. I want to be to driving that locomotive, but I don't know which way we want to face. So what I am going to do is turn that off, cut that brake in. We'll use the brake on this car now, which is our main car. Now, if we go over to the office, which is over here, we should have 2 jobs available. $35,000, there we go. So it wants our wallet, of course it does. Now, there you go. It's got a DH4 drivetrain. I think that should say drivetrain, but that's a spelling mistake. DH4 drivetrain and a DM3 drivetrain. 20 grand and 15 grand. Since we're going up there anyway, we may as well just get both if we can. We've got the job for it, but what we need to do is go up there and physically collect it. Now, to do that, we will need the car that can take it. Now, I'm just trying to remember what we left over here. I can't remember. I think we got the trailer, didn't we, if I remember? Or was it just the actual car we got? Okay, just this thing. So this thing can take one of them. But there is a trailer car that we can get that will take the other one. And I can't remember if we unlocked it and parked it up or we just didn't get it yet. I don't see it anywhere. Okay, I actually remember. I think we have to spawn it. From here, do we? Is that work train? There it is, the utility short flat car. I think it's like 5 grand or something stupid. Yeah, there we go. That's how we do it. So this is the other. So basically, you get this when you get the museum license. It doesn't really tell you, but when you get the museum license, you grab this now, And this can carry one of the vehicle parts, and this can carry the other. You can just drive this for a laugh up to the machine factory, but, you know, frankly, there's quicker ways of doing it. So what we'll do is we'll go down to the station, have a look for that job, which is going up to the machine factory, and then get ourselves set out. But I think we're going to be heading out west. Right, here's our job. C10. It's that, and we're at City South. So the C yard is over here. And 10 is on the north side. Which means it's probably that lot there. No? Ah, there it is. Yeah, that's the B yard. This is the C yard, so C10. Right, so we've got an interesting set of shenanigans to deal with here. Basically, the C yard can't go out that way because that's the loading bay. So we can't head west out of C yard. We've got 2 cars in here that we need, the loading cars. And we've got a set of cars in here that we need. And then we need to head out west. But the trains are here. Which means if we bring the trains out and then drive over there, we're then pulling them out. So we're on the wrong side of them. Which is a real pain. And the same thing about these. So what I'm going to have to do is bring our trains out of here, connect them to our 2 cars, reverse them out, and then push them and just drop them here. And then go and get these, pull these out, and then drop them here behind it. Then go around the front of the whole thing, and then get to the front of it and pull them away. It's a bit of a pain, but sometimes that's the way Derail Valley is. The alternative is that we just haul them out the east side and go this way, which is okay. It's a bit longer, but you could argue by the time I faffed around with that, maybe we should have gone that way anyway. I don't know. We've got to head to the machine factory. The nicest way, I think, is to come this way and go along there. We've driven that quite a bit, so I'll move things around in the yard so that we can head out west, because this is a more fun journey anyway. Right, so let's get these hooked up first, and then we'll pull them out of the shed and we'll put them over there onto the through line. Where's the handbrake on this thing? There it is. Oh, it looks like that's going to roll. That must be on a slight incline. Just want to nudge that one into that one, basically, is what I'm trying to do. Okay, that should do us. Right, that's that one hooked up, and then we need to make sure the handbrake is off in this and the brake line's cut. Brake line cut out. Where's the handbrake? There it is. Lovely. And I forgot to connect it, like an idiot. There you go. Even worse than that, I need to now put the handbrake back on. Otherwise, this thing will have nothing to push back against. Has that done it? Yeah. Schoolboy error that was. Okay, brake off. And she's rolling. Take the power off. Just make sure it free rolls. Which it does. So if anything was wrong, if there was a brake on or I'd not cut something out, you'd see it suddenly start to slow down. Like it's getting friction from nowhere. But it seems to be okay. Yeah, brakes definitely cut out. Don't forget this was on a slight incline, so it's losing momentum. Okay. So I'm going to send it down there. I'm going to send it right down the bottom there. And then we're going to pull this one out of 1.0 and put it in behind it. And then we're going to head down there and get around the front of the whole thing. Connect it all up, hand the job in, off we go. Okay, anywhere here should do it. Get the handbrake on. We definitely don't want those rolling away. Well, I think this is 1.0, isn't it? Yeah. So, we're going to come into here, we're going to keep right into C, and then we're going to go right in the C yard to get this lot. Let's try and bring that speed down a little bit. Want to be hitting at about 5 or less, ideally. Oh, that'll do nicely. Connect that up. Now, while we reverse that back down that way, I'm just going to run up here and grab the job itself. Actually, I don't need to bother. There's no benefit, really, is there? I've got to come this way anyway. Yeah, it's annoying the C yard basically just goes straight into that loading bay dead end. There's no through, which doesn't make any sense to me. It kind of feels like it should, but it doesn't. Right, so for this one, I'm going to want to drive through. We've parked up on here, so we want to go through to the B yard this time. So we're going to be going left into the B yard, and then we should be set up for straight through. Right and then left. No, we're not. Okay, that's now set up for straight through. So we're just going to drive past this signal, this switch here, and then switch over to that B track. And we should be set up to go all the way through that. Actually, no, I'm talking rubbish. That's what I've got to do with my locomotive. I need to get onto this track first. Yeah, the reason I want this lot behind that lot is because I'm going to be detaching this, whereas that I want to keep hold of. That's why I'm going to these great lengths to do it. Like I say, we could have just headed east. It would have been probably just as quick, but not quite as interesting, I don't think. Oh, that's close. I don't think that's enough. What a scumbag. Let me nudge it like an inch forward. There we go. That's long enough. Okay, that is all set. The only thing I need to do is put the handbrake on so it doesn't go anywhere, and then disconnect from it. We get around the front and we're away. Right, let's get the train reversed up and we'll go and grab hold of this job. Let's see. Did I ever pick it up? I already picked it up, didn't I? I don't need to carry this anymore. We want this thing. C10. It's got 7 cars. That sounds about right. Yep, cool. We good. I thought it was going to rain this morning at 9 AM. I'm sure it said it was going to rain. What we need to then do is decide which route we're going to take west out of here and set all the switches correspondingly. We could also see if we can pick up a cheeky job at City West on the way. Sometimes there's a job from City West up to Machine Factory, which will bring us a bit of extra cash. But we can do that when we get nearby, because the station's actually quite close. You kind of pass the station. So it's worth a look, just in case there is. And of course, I put the handbrake on the back car, didn't I? Annoyingly. That sounded harsh, but it wasn't. Cool, let's pressurize the brakes. We are ready to rock and roll. Let me just check the weight on this thing. What was it? 300 tons. Okay, one can handle it. Whether we've got the fuel for it is a different matter. Oops, I just pressed the sand button. One sec, there we go. There's not a great deal of fuel in this front loco, but, you know, if we run out of fuel, we'll just switch to the back one, but I'm hopeful that we've got enough. I can feel the weight now. Something's not right. Handbrake. Handbrake is on that car. There we go. Always listen out for the squeaking, because if you suddenly hear squeaking, something's not right. There we go. That's better. There was a little bit too much rolling resistance, and I thought I heard a distant squeak. Right, we'll jump into here on our way past. That will get us going. Which way do we want to go? City west, city south. We'll go through forest again? Nah. Go that way. I reckon we go coal mine south. Interestingly, we could go to coal mine south, and it will no doubt have something for coal power plant, which gives you something else to move up there. That's an option. Coal power plant's a bit of a pain, but it could make it interesting. Let's get this job handed in. Where's it going? C3I machine factory. Right, we're on the clock. Let's get moving. So, I'm going to go through... We're going to take a right turn and head into Coal Mine South. We'll come out of Coal Mine South, join here, keep right. Now, we've got to get ourselves routed correctly here. Where do we want to go? Coal Mine South. We actually want to take our left down to City West. So we go left, which takes us down this track. And that will take us down to here, where we stay right. Then we come left. Then we go right into City West. Keep left towards coal power plant and machine factory. So that's more or less correct for now. What else do we need to do? Okay, so coal mine south. We're going to be coming in from the south, which is this side on the right. So there's different ways, as I've said before, of getting through here. The B yard is a set of input and output lines with a possible locomotive on it. So we don't want to go that way. So potentially the best way is to go through the loading bay. So we'll go right, left into loading bay, keep left, through the loading bay, and then back out. Now the station is actually next to the loading bay, so we can jump out, have a look, and if there is a job, it'll most likely be in the B yard, so we can reverse back and grab hold of it. If there's nothing for us, then we will carry on to City West and see if we can get something at City West. When we get to City West, we're going to want to keep right again to take us to here. We'll then jump out to the station and see if there's a job available out of the C yard. If we get something heavy with the coal, we'll need to start up the second locomotive, but we also need to keep our eye out on the fuel level here, because I forgot to refuel it at the museum. I should probably have refueled it, and I totally forgot to do that. So we should be okay, but yeah, one to watch. Right, coal power plant should be just around the corner here. Got 50 limit, that's fine. There it is. Right, so we're going to jump out and see if we can find something. Now, weight is a consideration here. It's mostly downhill until we get to City West. This thing weighs 300 tons, so we've got, I'd say, another 200 tons we can take on this locomotive, and then another 600 on the rear one. So nothing more than about 800, I would say, because the climb up to from City West to coal power plant is quite steep. But we'll shall see what's on offer. There's the station green light. I need a clock in here. We need to, when we buy our gadgets for our DH4, I need to get a clock in here so we see what time of day it is. It is actually quite useful just to understand, because if you've got a weather forecast and you know it's going to rain at a certain time, keeping your eye on the time, you can sort of work out when you need to be not climbing a hill, i.e. when it's raining. Just double check the line's clear. Yep, through the loading bay. Loading bay should always be clear, unless you've left something there. Which I don't. I'll just put a little bit of brake on. Alright, you stop that. I'm just going to jump out and have a look what we've got. Logistic. Have we got anything? Machine factory job there. That's a logistic job. Coal power plant job. 1,500 tons? I don't think so. 480, that's more doable. Steel mill's no good for us. Coal power plant, 1,100, that's a bit too heavy. Coal mine south. Coal power plant shunting job. Haven't got time for that. Food factory, steel mill. Right, machine factory for 11 grand. So I think this is probably the one we want. Fire at both locos, I reckon we can do that. So we'll pull forward and reverse into B80. That will go into A2I. So we're going to have to figure this out in a second. Let's see, coal mine south. So if we come around the outside to B80 is this line here, the southern line. So we need to come right and right again into that. And if we have a look at the job description, it is FH55, which is the one probably on the other side of this here. Is this one? No. Next one. This one here, I think. No, that's 20. Oh, it's that one right back here. There it is. And the handbrake on this thing is on the back one. Of course it is. So I might as well do that now. We'll turn that one on and turn this one off. So it's a bit easier in a second when we line up on it. Right, where's the train? Okay, that's not bad. That's going to be a bit of extra cash. So that's going to be 480 tons plus 322 tons. We need to work out A6I where it's going. So we need to work out how to drop this off and then easily get back out again to the machine factory. That's going to be a puzzle that we'll have to solve in a second. Let's keep them right there, and then this one here. Okay, right. So we just need to get past this switch. Sorry, this switch here. Yeah, I never really walk around here very much. I have just noticed that this is not a clippable object. Right, you stop there. It's quite windy. You can hear the wind. Oop, wheel slip. Right, just need to be a little bit careful here because there's a fair amount of weight, 300 tons. And we need to hook this up, hand the job in, start the other loco up, and then get out of here and set our points. We have to work out how to get into A2I. Oh, I've done it again. A little bit too early. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Where's the brake on this car? Right, need to nip through here. It's always annoying when you can't teleport very far, trying to get through these things. Let's get the job. Hand it in. A2I. That's going to be fun. Okay, I think this one has more fuel in it. In fact, it has considerably more fuel in it. Right, that's 2 locos running now. This one's got a quarter of a tank remaining. In fact, the fuel light's just come on. Right, coal power plant. Coal power plant and A2I. So we're going to be coming in from here. So we're going to want to switch left to take us into 2I, into here. 2I is actually here. That's not terrible. So we're going to merge into this track. Then we're going to split right, split left, which will bring us down here. And then there's different ways of doing this. Probably the easiest will be to go right and then right again into 2I, drop it off, pull forward, then reverse back down that split there, and then come back out this way. That's going to be the easiest way to drop it off, I think. So all the other points should be set, but we will keep an eye on things on the way. Just a little reminder of where we're going. We're now coming out of the Coal Mountain South. We're going to come up here. We're going to go left and down through this windy bit. We're going to bypass City West, make our climb up here. Then we're going to go into Coal Power Plant, drop that off, pull forward, reverse, and come back out again into Machine Factory. Now the job at Machine Factory wants to go into C3I. So if we have a quick look at Machine Factory, that's going to be coming in from this direction. Right turn, left turn into C. And then 3I is a right turn, left turn. Drop off at 3I. Everything is now pretty much set. We can't do all of the points or switches up at the coal power plant because we need to get in there first, make a drop, pull forward, and get our way out. I think it's probably 9, 10 a.m, I'd guess. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit concerned that the weather forecast may have had rain on it as we make the climb out of City West, but we shall hope not. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, because I think most of our journey's downhill until City West, I think what I might do is turn the engine off in here, just to save fuel, to make sure I've got the second loco to get us up that climb. In order to do that, I'll need to brake cut the other one back in. So what we need to do is turn this engine off, brake cut that out, brake cut this one in, because without this engine running, it won't be able to run the compressor. So it won't be able to fill the tank with air. So I need the other one to control the brakes now. But we can still operate this one from here. Or can we? Maybe it won't let me. I assumed it would. Maybe it won't. Hang on. Let's hook the remote up to this. I assume the controls would still operate, but it doesn't look like they are. So we'll have to do it from here. There we go. Okay, I never knew that. I genuinely thought that moving this lever would still operate the connection between these two locomotives, but it seems like the engine has to be running for that throttle lever to work. Yeah, okay, we'll learn something every day. We can just do it from the remote from here, and we're just going to save some fuel. As soon as we get near City West here, we'll turn this loco back on, just to help us up with that climb. I don't want to risk running out of fuel, because if we run out of fuel in this loco, we need both to climb that hill, and we will be in trouble. Alright, so far so good, but I've got a massive speed drop here. Down to 30. There we go. So we're now just coming through this section here. We're not going to be stopping at City West for a job anymore because we've got one. And we'll shortly need to fire up this engine and brake cut it back in. Although having said that, when we turn the engine on, I expect the controls will work and it won't matter which one's brake cutting. Well, we just need to keep the speed at 30 or so because the back of the train's going to go through that section. I do find having a digital speedo just way more useful than having the dial. The dial's okay, but just being able to glance at a number is just so much better. Alright, we're now approaching City West. We can't do more than 30 because of this sharp right-hand turn, but we can fire this back up and make use of the remaining power and fuel that we have. Does it work now? Yes, it does. Now, annoyingly, I can't floor it yet because of this sharp turn, and we've got quite a long train. And as we get around this corner, we will start to bleed speed as we hit this incline. How long was this train? 100 meters long, and this one is 100, not too long actually. Okay, we're going to get the power in now. At the very least, I'm going to try and maintain at least 30. See if we can, oh, we can't see the back. All those trees. Those trees never used to be there, you know. They came in later releases of this game. You used to be able to see quite a bit down there. Okay, looks like we've got plenty of power, and we should have enough fuel for this job. So let's just get ourselves set up here now, because we are going to be going left into this thing. Left through the right into 2i. We're going to pull through and then reverse back this way. So we're going to reverse back into here, and then we're going to go out that way. Engine's warm, yellow light on, not really a problem. We'll just keep this power level for now. We're not in a particular rush, but I don't want to lose momentum or run out of fuel. Really starting to struggle now. Losing all momentum up here. This is the toughest part of the climb. We're about to go into the red on the heating, so I'm going to have to back off on the throttle, but we are starting to lose the incline a little bit. So we should make it, but you know, any more weight and we wouldn't have made this. Okay, we're going to get a nice negative gradient. That should help a lot. So we're now here at this triangle there, and then we're going to hook a left into the coal power plant. Okay, speed's coming back, I think. Yep, there we go. Lovely. And then another gradient of plus 0.8. And a plus 1.5. Eighth of a tank left. I'm definitely happy I saved that bit of fuel back there because I think we'd have probably made it, but only just. And if without the second locomotive, it would not get up that hill. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so there's the coal power plant. And that on the far left is where we're going to be dropping off, actually. That bit of track there, that's the input line. And then we're going to come forward here, reverse back down that one, and come back out this way. That's what we're going to be doing. Oh my god, plus 2% gradient. This is absolutely brutal. It's a 1.1 if you go that way. It's just a whole lot of climb here. Getting all this coal to this power plant. Why did they build a power plant so high up? It's to build a power plant at a lower level to your coal mine. And that way you can bring the coal down to it. Building the coal power plant up here and taking coal up to it, it's nuts. We just got to hold steady. I can't give it any more power because there's not enough thermal capacity really. 22, I think we're just picking up speed again. Nice. Okay, let's just check ourselves here. So we're going right then left, which is correct. We're going right here, then left there. And right again is 2i. Just double check we're going into 2i. A2i is the track. And this is A2i. Okay, we're good. Almost out of fuel. And that is A2I. And the station is... I'm trying to remember where the station is on this one. There it is. Okay, so what I need to do is jump out of here. Make sure the back of this train goes past that bit there. This will pull forward through to here. Right turn through there is fine. Just want the train to come straight through that way in a minute. Just need to get these gondolas well clear of this track. Okay, anywhere here should do. Get the handbrake on. Okay, we'll get that to start to move forward at a steady pace. That will loop around now, and we'll meet it back over here in a second. Where's the actual station? There it is. Let's get the job out. There it is. $36k, that's alright. That will do. Our fees still haven't gone up. We're only paying 27 grand, so we're really maximising that co-pay, which is definitely the way to play it. Now, let's see. So, we need to reverse back up this track, which is going to be... around there. So it's going to be some of these here, isn't it? This one in particular, and that one. That one's already set to take it back that way, and we go right. This one must be here somewhere. There it is. So we need to get beyond this switch and then reverse back to bring us over and off that way. And annoyingly, there's a load of cars here. It just makes life even more slightly annoying. So what we're going to have to do is release all the handbrakes on these and get them pushed out of the way. Such is life, I'm afraid. Because this is actually a siding, isn't it? So what I should have done... should have gone that way. I've made a mistake. Hang on. It's not too late to fix it. Save pushing all these out the way. Let's come down this lane. Because this is always free. And it doesn't make any difference if we... Basically, I should have switched to that one and come down the inside here rather than go into the siding and reverse back. That's my mistake in planning. But thankfully, it's fixable. And that siding will be empty all the way around the corner though. We've got plenty of space. Obviously, I want to make sure you don't reverse into the train that you just dropped off, but I can see it's clear. Okay. That should more or less do us. Right, we'll flick that. Just make sure that's not going to take us into that siding. It's not. So we just got to get past this now and then reverse back up the track. Okay, we're almost done. Just got to get it past the switch and then we can get out of here. We're now on the inside track. How much fuel's this got? That's fine. Okay, so if we go back to the coal plough plant, we're reversed to here. I'm now going to forward through this, and then we want to flick right this time, up to the machine factory. I reckon when we get to the machine factory, we'll be running on fumes. Right, need a bit of momentum here because we've got another incline coming up. But nowhere near as much weight, so we should be absolutely fine. But I'm going to have to get this serviced or clear the fines on it in some way. If we want to reuse this thing, we're going to have to get it serviced. Luckily, at the machine factory, there is a service yard, so we can do that. Lovely. Plenty of power this time. Here we are. Look at this. This thing has... It is just running on fumes now. It's amazing, like the light's flashing. I've never run it so low on fuel before, that's nuts. Anyway, we're here, we made it. We don't need this loco on anymore anyway, but... we can just roll it in. Roll it into victory. So what are we on now? 679. So after this, we'll be on more than 700, which is a good place to be, considering I also paid for those parts. We're coming into 3i, is that right? Yeah. It's great when you do all the prep and then... Let's turn that off now. You do all the prep and then you just have an easy ride. You just bring it home. Start slowing it down. Let's get out. It's all about planning and preparation, this game. It really is. And getting those bonuses. Picking the right jobs, planning and preparing, getting the bonuses, maximising your copay. That's the secret to it all. Okay, let's undo that. And we will turn this engine off. Put the handbrake on. Come on, game, let me out. And then we'll hand that in. Station is here. I think we're doing quite well, to be honest. Weather held. No idea what time it is. What time is it? Wow, 3 in the afternoon. Oh, it's going to get hazy. So there was no rain today. The rain was yesterday's forecast. That's another 40k. Absolutely lovely. Now, we just need to work out, is it cheaper to pay the copay or is it cheaper to service them? But that is not for this episode. We've done quite a lot today, guys. I'm really pleased with where we're at. In the next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up these parts onto the back of here, see what jobs we can get out of here, try and make it line up with where we're going. We're obviously heading to the museum. There's plenty of weight here in these cars alone. Like, this thing weighs, what, 10 tons? This weighs 3.6, and then the load on the back that will stick on there. Yeah, it's quite significant, but we'll work it all out in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry I sound a bit nasally still. I'm still not perfectly healthy yet, but hopefully we'll be on the next episode. Take care, guys. Happy training.